right, thanks guys for having us, and Brian and Todd and the rest of the crew at OSTP, thanks so much for having us here today. It's really been through you guys over the course of the past year that we've gotten to meet a lot of the folks in this room who are emergency responders on the ground, and it's a rare privilege indeed to do it. Dr. Brothers put it perfectly. We are programmers, we are software people. Learning more from you guys has been a real privilege. And one of the things we've learned over the course of the past year is that coordination is the backbone of any successful emergency response. And you've told us time and again that the quality of that coordination is related to the quality of the communication that's on site. In fact, you've gone so far as to say the success of a coordination is entirely dependent on the success of the communication. Now, we happen to know from your guys' accounts that this communication is pretty difficult. When you go on site to a disaster, it's often difficult to discern where to plug in the phone switch to magically make your communication work. And these environments are changing all the time from disaster to disaster, requiring your technology to be as flexible as the resourceful responders that are responding to the emergency. Now, we at Twilio happen to believe that there are two big trends that are going to change the way that you communicate and the way that you coordinate during these disasters for the rest of our lives. The first is the cloud. This concept of distributed architectures with no hardware on site, exposed through APIs, which are wielded by technologists, programmers, folks who can take these APIs and use them to customize communication solutions that conquer the challenges that you're actually seeing on the ground. Now, my name is Rob Spector. I do work for a company called Twilio. I'm joined here today by Matt McKay, who's our lovely assistant, and we are trying our level best to bring those two things together. Cloud communications and developers to change the way you respond to emergencies forever. Now, one of the things that we want to show you is what we've been working on over the course of the winter, which is a project called the Rapid Response Kit. And this is an open source framework. It's a code base, a developer tool for your technologists in your emergencies to mix, match, and customize 9 different technology tools that will help you stay communicated and stay coordinated during an emergency response. This is available through our philanthropic arm called twilio.org. You can go there right now to download this code base and use it in a response. And you can also sign up as an emergency responder for $500 of free Twilio credit to get going and get communicating and get coordinating your next emergency response. I appreciate Brian being so accommodating with the use of a laptop, because we'd like to actually show you how this thing works. Now, you guys have been a super courteous audience, and you guys have been quietly using your phones. I want to flip that on its head right quick. If you guys could whip out all your phones right now and turn the ringers up, I think we're going to have a little bit of fun, if that's okay. Cool. So, volunteer sign up. So this is pretty tough in a response, especially if you're working with pen and paper. When you have a group of individuals like yourselves that are impossibly committed to your communities, oftentimes getting you all together and focused in one direction in a response can be problematic. So we have a tool that makes it easier for you to communicate with those folks through volunteer sign up. So in this particular case, we have an easy call to action that you can fill out. And you can send to some individual phone numbers if you so desire. And then you can create a file name, which will create a Google spreadsheet that will allow every single person that texts in to that number to show up with their information, whether they would like to volunteer or not, on that individual Google spreadsheet. So if we go to the spreadsheet, we see kind of a bummer. We don't have any volunteers yet, so how about we get some from the crowd right now? If you guys could text your full name, so that's first name and last name, and yes or no, whether or not you'd like to participate in this volunteer action, to 703-935-5978. That number again is 703-935-5978. Again, with your first name, last name, and a yes or a no. We should have a little bit of fun. Now, I suspect in this particular room, we're going to have a lot of volunteers who are also Verizon customers. So if you're struggling with AT&T, that's okay. Well, let's see if we got some volunteers. Struggle over? Oh, look at that. We got a whole bunch. So why don't we take, I don't know, 10 of those folks, and see if we can have some more fun with those phones. So let's say for 10 of the volunteers that are participating, we need them to show up an hour later tomorrow. Well, communicating with them in the on-site in an emergency can be tough, so we have a broadcast tool that allows you to take those numbers and send an SMS broadcast to small groups of people and inform them that something is going to change. So in this particular case, we can say, hey, the cleanup has changed from 10 to 11. We hit broadcast message, and it'll send a message out to all those folks. Did you guys, did a few of you receive one of those responses? Yes? Oh, that's pretty cool, right? Cool. Well, the last tool that I'd like to show is for those times when you don't need asynchronous communication, but you need synchronous communication. So let's say after your response, you want to get those volunteers together and find out how it went. Now, you could send out a conference call line with a long pin that they would have to remember or like write down somewhere, which can be troublesome during an emergency. Or you can use a tool like Town Hall, where you can just specify the name of a conference, drop in those same phone numbers, hit start conference, and Twilio will reach out and call every single one of those people, as it's doing right now. Pick up the phone, and you'll be able to talk to each other in the middle of a response. Now that was pretty neat, right? Cool. Listen, guys, there's plenty more stuff that this can do. This was just 3 of the total 9 tools that were all written by Twilio volunteers during Innovation Weeks, inspired entirely by our works with you folks in the community. My name is Rob again. That's Matt McKay. We're going to be at the showcase section. Love to answer some more questions. Go to twilio.org. Thanks, all.